Yeah, any of you pay attention to Eric D. July, the Young Ripper?
Young Ripper.
I've heard of him. I've watched a couple of his. Yeah.
I think that you would be kind of apt to listen to the fella, and that's all of it. I listen to him. I wouldn't say religiously, but quite frequently, quite often. He refers to this subject as tokenization, which is what it is. You know, and
well, I'm subscribed. I'm subscribed to him, but it seems like he's mostly focused on like comics and comic culture.
Oh no! I mean, the comic culture. It's not in the background. He's very versed in comic culture, but his channel has a very definite political bent to it.
Oh yeah.
He calls himself like a libertarian, anarcho-capitalist, and whatnot. But the guy's got a lot of very good talking points, and you know, if you ever get the opportunity to get over there and check him out, you probably should.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I should mention he also has a really large poster of what is it, Thomas Sowell in the background.
Yeah,
which is like one of my favorites on one side, and then on the other side he has a big Batman sigil, which is also another one of my favorites.
Yeah, Sowell's not a bad fella, man. I mean, early on he was a self-identified liberal.
He was a commie.
Commie, yeah, he was a communist outright. And then when he discovered what it meant not to be that, he flipped and never went back.
Well, he talks about it himself. He basically says he deconstructed himself. After the Marine Corps, he fell in love with photography, and then he also fell in love with like political learning. And he basically said it this way: slowly over years, he was able to logic his way. He was able to rationalize his way out of what he would call socialist thought.
Sure.
So,
you know, I don't think it's just about getting older. I think it has a lot to do with not relying on the words of hate mongers around you. You know, but you don't know that they're a hate monger until you start to decipher them. Exactly. When you start decrypting their bullshit and you start reading history for yourself, one of you is lying, and it's not history.
It's the feminists.
Yes, it's everybody that takes the short, easy way out.
Yeah.
You say it's the feminists, and yes, I think that's one branch. I think it's much larger than that. You could say it's leftism. I wanted to mention, just recently I was researching Antonio Gramsci. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Antonio Gramsci. He was a famous Italian Marxist, communist philosopher, writer, social commentary guy. Yes. He was locked up. He was locked up by Mussolini, and he wrote a whole bunch of... well, he never wrote any books. I think he wrote over 3,000 notebooks worth of his leftist dribble. Hammerhand, you were talking a second ago about how like there's this like need or this like persistent desire to sort of denigrate like European culture, and Gramsci spoke about that at length, and he openly called for it. He basically said, as terrible as this sounds to say, he said things like, "See, white men especially are terrible. They're so good. They're so proficient at running things that they represent like a hegemonic cultural power, and they have to be, in order to create this weird utopia that he claims that we need to move towards. We need to dispossess white men of their cultural status."
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
It's that simple. Yeah, well, Good Mother says, it's feminism. It's feminism. It's not just feminism. That's like one. It's not
just, no, but it's the most immediate tip of the spear that is being used to poke and prod men and other women. We can never forget to say that. Women are under tremendous pressure, but they're not under the kind of pressure that we are under. No, we're all getting fucked.
They're told they're under that pressure. Yeah. They're told they're the disenfranchised ones.
Agreed. And when you buy into that, you believe that, you run around with a huge chip on your shoulder. And the unfortunate part about it is that it has permeated the culture, and it's been sitting here just forming rot in the culture for 60 years.
Yeah. Well, and to get to the men, you have to go through the women.
Exactly.
Most of the time.
Back to the Adam and Eve story. Like, will the snake be able to talk Adam into that shit without Eve doing it?
Well, no. I mean, you run right back to the actual original story, and it's that Adam was given a choice. He's given a choice to embrace the kingdom of heaven or reject Eve and her sin, and he chose to embrace Eve because he didn't want to be alone, and that speaks to the weakness that is inherent in man.
Yeah, and I mean, they are our partners. No matter what,
they were created as the partner, but now
we can't move forward without each other, Hammer. You know,
I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty comfortable with that.
No, I gotta be honest with you. We're all pretty comfortable with the idea right now. But I mean, at the same time, that's the end of us. You know. Yeah.
Look, I agree, man. Look, we're like we're a sheet of paper in a paper factory as far as time is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, the Earth doesn't even blink, and we're here and gone.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I would like to see us continue on. I would like to see things get better, but they're not getting better. No. And they're not getting better on purpose. It's not. This is not natural. It's not organic. It's 100% engineered with very little thought towards the outcome. It's just to keep certain people in power for as long as they can hold on to it.
There you go.
Yeah, it's all about conditioning for the power, right? I mean,
yes, agreed. And they teach their people to do the same thing. That's why we have a competitive atmosphere all over the West. That's one of the things that the fellow you were talking about that he wrote down. We are ultra competitive.
Mm-hmm.
But then we get legislated out of certain things, certain positions, and most of our power, the general populace for men, has been taken from them.
Yeah. And like I stated before, I mean, we can't get a politician, even though he agrees with what we have to say or that things are wrong, to actually go out there and say it, because he's going to lose.
Yes, he'll lose
to the next person that's willing to pander to the other side.
The end of his career. The fallback for any politician is, I'm going to give you some shit, just put me there.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
Every fucking day of every year forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why I tell guys out here, don't look at the blue pill tsunami. Don't look at that tidal wave of cucks. Look at yourself, safeguard yourself the best that you can. That applies to women as well.